Today's video is sponsored by Lustre. So the Key company is back with another release from its C3 collab Fruit Series switches. The tangerines have been pretty popular so far for a linear, at least the demand for them have been crazy. Now they're back with the Kiwis, and these are the tactile flavor. So we've got T1 type stems, they're pre-lubed from the factory, and they've got these green translucent housings. They look amazing. We're gonna compare them both in sound and performance to some polar pandas and the recently released NK blueberries to see how they stack up. You ready? Let's go! Yo, I'm Brian P. You're watching BadSeed Tech, and today we're checking out the Kiwi Tactile Switch from TKC. Likely available by the time you see this, the Kiwis are priced at $6.50 per 10 pack, so right in line with the tangerines. These share a lot with the tangerines actually, with the exception of them being tactile stems. These come in one spring weight only as well, 67 grams, done in gold. They're really upfront about the N9 colored stem being a T1 clone, and that definitely seems to be the case with the shape of the leg here. That's a blueberry stem on the far left, so you can check out the difference. This results in a big, smooth, round bump that starts basically from the top of the press and a smooth snap on return. I'm a fan overall of the T1 style shape, and these are really satisfying. The housing, while being this translucent green instead of orange, is apparently the same housing material as well. I know there's some controversy about how much of this housing is actually UHMW, but after having spoke to a few different switch manufacturers, TKC and C3 playing this close to the vest about what their actual compound is isn't in an effort to be misleading. It's to stop a competitor from simply knocking off their compound, and that happens a lot in the switch industry. Regardless, it's pretty obvious to anybody who follows the market close that these are manufactured by JWK, so the housing will share some visual similarities with like the Silent Alpacas or the Sohos from Switch Couture, but it's important to note here that due to the proprietary top housing design, these are not just Duroc recolors. The tolerances here are a lot better in the top housing, so you get noticeably less stem wobble. These do have factory lube as well. It's a really thin oil. I cracked open a few of these, and the stems and slide rails seem to have solid, consistent coverage. I'm not seeing or getting a lot on the spring itself or where the spring hits the housing, which was actually pretty surprising because these don't really suffer any kind of ping from the springs or grind, nothing you would associate with dry springs, so it could just be very lightly lubed. I have a tendency to go way overboard when I lube switches. But this is one of the few switches I've come across. I wouldn't actually go to the trouble of lubing these. I wouldn't even go to the trouble of re-lubing the springs, and considering how heavy-handed I am with lube jobs, I feel like that's saying a lot. For the sound test today, we've loaded these up in the NK65 entry because it's one of the most neutral sounding boards I have in-house thanks to its amazing sound dampening, and its hot swap sockets also accommodate 5-pin PCB mount switches, so no clipping stems. And I mean, damn, how good do these look in this board? I gotta point out this switch opener too. I'm not sure when these will be available, but this is hands down the best switch opener I've ever owned. It's big, heavy anodized aluminum, magnetized to fit together, and includes a side for both MX clone and a side for Kale switches in the same tool. This thing is a major W. For caps, we're breaking out the GMK Analog Dream set today, which again, with the translucent purple housing, come on. We're gonna pit these Kiwis against some yoke polar pandas. These are the real deal with yoke polar housings, halo clear stems, 60-gram springs, and 205 grade 0 for lube. Seb, if you're seeing this video, get at me so I can get you paid, bro. We'll also listen to some NK blueberries, which like the creams are all palm, just to give you an idea of the sound. The blueberries aren't lubed, and for me, definitely need to be, but I do want to hear the difference in the housing if possible. I'd like to thank Lustre for sponsoring today's video. You may have noticed their links down in the description of my videos, and if you haven't, you really should. Most people nowadays like to read or watch product reviews as part of their shopping experience, and while I like to think I cover all the bases in my reviews, maybe I didn't do that for you, or maybe you just want a second opinion. That's healthy, that's good. The problem is it's easy to go down that rabbit hole reading and watching different reviews. Sometimes you spend a few hours, sometimes a few days, and you come away more confused about your purchase than you were before. And sometimes with those 4.5 or 5-star Amazon reviews, it's a little tough to tell if those are legit or if they've been paid for. And that's where Lustre comes in. Lustre's a free shopping tool or Chrome extension that consolidates all that info for you by gathering it from a number of trusted places and review locations around the internet. Wirecutter, Reddit discussions, even other YouTubers. You can search by your specific product need and your specific budget and get a better sense of how well a product stacks up from a lot of different perspectives and voices around the internet. Not just mine. It can also alert you to sales or personalized product recommendations right on Amazon and Google, so you can always score the best product at the lowest price. Lustre is free, it's easy to use, and it can help you save money when you're out there searching for your perfect product. Check them out at join.lustre.ai. So if I haven't driven it home yet, overall I find these Kiwis to be really smooth. The biggest difference between these and the Pandas are that these feel smoother, by that I mean less tactile than the Pandas. With the biggest reason being that the Kiwis have this large round bump and the Pandas feel like a distinct snap, both on downstroke and return. So if you like a really smooth downstroke with pronounced relief on bottom out and a snappy return, Kiwis. If you like more of a snappy downstroke and return, Pandas or similar. It's worth noting too that despite having covered a ton of drop products in the past, I've never actually looked at their own Panda production switches. I prefer to look for Pandas that are Frankenstein together in a more traditional way. I did opt to both film one of these and lube and film one with 205, being heavy-handed as I am. The films resulted in a higher pitch sound overall. The lube dampened the sound just a bit more. I didn't even notice a hint of spring noise until after lubing one and then listening to one back stock in comparison. I really have to say, as someone who takes no enjoyment at all from the process of lubing switches, but appreciates the results, this is one of very few switches where I don't really think it's even worth going to the trouble. So at $6.50 a pack, I can definitely get behind these. It's a great looking design. It feels nice and smooth during typing. It responds well to both filming and lubing, but easily my favorite thing about these is they're just a high performing switch right out of the box without the need to lube or film if you don't want to. To me, that makes these a great option for a casual or somebody new to the scene who wants a high performing tactile switch but doesn't want to make it a lifestyle or a 3-hour project before they could start using the switches. And I don't see them keeping their plastic formulation a secret as anything nefarious. I guess for me, the bottom line is if you like the look, the sound, and the feel, then what difference does it make what they're made out of? It's not like they're asking $12 a pack for these. No affiliate links or discount codes on these, but I will put all the pertinent links down below. That's assuming these aren't completely sold out by the time you finish this video. And that's it for this time. I'm Brian P. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that sub button, and until next time, stay up.